Are bundles gonna do anything? If you ever played Minecraft, one of the first major problems that you encounter with is that when you start playing, your inventory gets cluttered up in no time. And players been asking for a solution to this issue. And Mojang while ago came up with the idea of bundles. Since the introduction, bundles has been getting a lot of hate. And people seem to don't like the idea of them and think it's not a really good addition to the game. And also it's not the best way to manage the inventory issue. And you know what? I agree with them, and I think Mojang does too. The reasoning being that bundles aren't the biggest addition to the game, and Mojang could have easily added them in the 1.18 update, but instead they decided to delay it even further. Not because of how difficult it is to develop, but because this idea of bundles needs a lot of polishing up, and Mojang, in my opinion, wanted to work on it even more and didn't want to add just another item to the game with no use. But I think bundles are pretty cool if they get polished up and somehow get more useful in the game, because what we basically saw from bundles was only useful in the early game era, which I mean it helps a lot since you'll end up with a small amount of so many different items in the game, but not the best solution. But besides the practicality, I personally really like the look of bundles. The texture looks good and it felt so Minecrafty. And one of the things that I was so excited about was the fact that when you hover over bundles, it shows you all the items that are inside of it, and I thought that was a really cool addition. And at the time I was so hopeful that if bundles come to the game, shulker boxes also get this amazing feature. And it would be so nice to see the actual items in the shulker boxes instead of the names of the first 5 items. It saves a ton of time in the long run, and if you want to find an item in one of your shulker boxes that you didn't label, it's going to be life-saving. But anyway, let's get back to bundles. What most people complained about is the crafting recipe of bundles. The fact that you need 6 rabbit hives and 2 string just to get one bundle seemed outrageous. But I understand the logic behind it. They wanted to find a use for rabbit hives in the game since you don't really need to farm them right now. But there is a problem. The maximum amount of bundles that you need in early game to sort all your stuff is like 5 or 6 to keep all your different items in your inventory at once. And in the later game you won't need these bundles. So if you want to use the bundles to help you with the inventory issue, you need to spend all your time in early game just to make a small farm for bundles that you're gonna use for like a week. And it kinda doesn't make sense if you get what I'm saying. If somehow bundles were more useful towards the end game and you could have used them in the long run, yes, in that case it's worth to spend some time to make a small rabbit pen and get yourself some bundles to use them. But for something that is going to be used for a short period of time, it should be so much easier to obtain, and I don't think it's worth spending all that time on the bundle. One of the other issues that I saw people complaining about is the fact that bundles are hard to use, and that's a fact. The way that you have to take the items out of the bundle is not really good. Let's say you want the last item that is in your bundle. You just simply right click in your inventory and now you have the item in your inventory. Easy peasy, no problem. But what if you want the first item that is in your bundle? Now you have 2 options to do this. One is to just click the items one by one in your inventory until you finally end up with the item you want. And the other one is just to right click the bundle in your hand to throw all the items on the floor. Then you have to pick them all up and finally find that specific item that you want. But the problem is now your inventory is full of junk again, and every time you want to get some specific item out of your bundle, you have to refill it and repeat this process, which is tedious. And this is where bundles need the most development and improvement to be a good addition to the game. I'm sure Mojang has all that in mind and also listens to the community and always tries to make the game better and deliver a more enjoyable experience for the players, and they'll come up with something eventually. But for now we have to deal with the inventory issue just for a little bit longer. And that about sums it up for bundles. If you want to support the channel and want more videos like this, you should subscribe. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you folks in the next one. Later.